You need this. False or advertising. Episode 1. Bet on it.
Selling out is easy to do. It's not so hard to find a buyer for you. When money talks, you're under its spell. Ah, but what do you have when there's nothing left to sell?
And that's how Alexander the Great conquered Mars. Before we continue, I'd like to thank our friends for supporting the show. Without sponsors, I starve. Terrible for the voice. First, there's Wager Slave. Gamblers today don't have many options. You're stuck with boxing, baseball, basketball, football, MMA, hockey, also football, video games, elections, claw machines, lotteries, raffles, dog races, the weather, James Bond casting, and, if you're desperate, casinos. At Wager Slave, we want better for you. The chance to bet on anything, anywhere. Wager Slave is the first legal service for betting on your own life events. We get married in 1 year, 5, or never. How long can you keep your job? Is it in remission? We'll take all of those bets and share them with like-minded players all over the world. Whoever wins, we win. And sometimes you. I wouldn't pitch you anything I don't use. I've been on Wager Slave for 3 months, and I'm on a hot streak. I bet $60 against making rent in December and won enough for January. Then I fell behind after betting $800 on getting through Valentine's Day sober. Then I went double or nothing on finding a new day job and took another on the chin. But when you're in the red, Wager Slave has your back. Players can borrow up to 10 times their lost funds, giving everyone a fair chance to fight their way to a win. And I have. After careful bets on cyberstalking my ex, reading 0 books, and staying estranged from my dad, I'm back in the green and ready for more wins. Not sure where to start? Wager Slave's automatic bookie suggests personalized bets tailored to your lifestyle. Seconds after scraping my text history, it offered bets on finishing my novel, winning her back, and keeping my liver. You're on, buddy. It's almost more than you know what to do with. But you do know. Gamble. It's time to gamble. Wager Slave. Play with your life. Oh man, I almost forgot our second sponsor. Good thing I take Grind, gas for your goals. While other energy injections lack the will to leave the FDA's opinions behind, Grind stands apart. 1 injection and you'll see why. Grind provides 24 hours of the energy, focus, and pain tolerance you need to compete. I'll admit it, I'm not a natural editor. Opening Audacity takes me 2 hours, and then it's break time. It's a miracle episodes come out at all, let alone on time. That miracle is called Grind. 2 small jabs, and I can crush a season of audio. Once I'm going, it's hard to stop. I've woken up on my keyboard more times than I can count, with clean audio and a happy audience. Of course, everyone has their own speed. Start slow with a needle of newbie green, or finish your thesis with 2 vials of Hustle Bronze, or, if you're brave enough, load a jar of Survivor Silver and challenge God. I can't directly advertise Galaxy Gold on US soil, but if you know, you know. And that's our last sponsor, unless you count the lovely ladies at Vintage Vintage. If you're like me, life is a black forest without meaning, because you don't have a grandma. I spent 3 grandma-less years wandering the alleys of Jakarta, fighting, first, to survive, then, for the thrill, finally, because it was all I knew. Then I got a rental grandma from Vintage Vintage. The hole in my life wasn't victory. It was unconditional chocolate chip love. See, nursing homes cage the forgotten. Their families visit at first, but days turn into weeks, turn into never. They're left to walk into snow like true Vikings. Or join Vintage Vintage and find new families that need, appreciate, and remember them. Each rental grandma has the full wisdom of raising and abandonment by a full family. Whether you need a kindly mentor to teach you responsibility, or a family tyrant to steer your own reign of terror, there's Vintage. My rental grandma, Gertrude, doesn't know what podcasts are, but she knows an angry, lost child when she sees one. And the words to remind me that I'm working harder, smarter, and more huggably than anyone in my field. Anyone. Thank you, Gertrude, and thank you, Vintage. Use the code NEEDTHIS for 2% off your first rental. Now, back to the show. While Mars fell quickly, Venus would provide Alexander a true challenge. Love.
So nice to have you. I'll tell you why. It's not easy having so remember when you start your free you're under its soul. That we all have against there is nothing left to say.
Dennard Dayle here, author of Everything Abridged, How to Dodge a Cannonball, blah blah blah. I'm explaining the joke once. I'm obsessed with ads. I suspect everyone is a little, especially if you hate them, and I'm betting on it with this show. You Need This. It's basically fake podcast ad reads, and only fake ad reads. You could call it sketch comedy, dealer's choice. Either way, I'm going to try to do these about once a week. We'll see how it rolls. I hope you enjoy it. You can find it at extra-evil.com or seymourevil.com. Or just really cyberstalk me and I'll be promoting the hell out of this. I hope you had fun.